January saw the release of some big games. We saw the new action RPG from Drinkbox, Nobody Saves the World, which you can find a review of on my channel. We saw the next entry in a long-running series, Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem, which you can also find a review of soon. And you got to experience Pokemon in an open world for the first time ever with Pokemon Legends Arceus. There were other smaller releases sprinkled throughout, but January pales in comparison to what's coming in the next 2 months. February is so loaded it rivals other significant months in gaming history. Don't believe me? Check out the link below to an article written by my good friend and podcast co-host John Carson of Game Informer. We've got a big month of games in store, so let's dive in. While I'm not a huge fan of Life is Strange, it's undeniable how popular this series is. This collection brings together Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm with remastered character and environment visuals, new engine and lighting upgrades, and Life is Strange will have brand new fully motion captured facial animations. As I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of this series, so this probably won't be a day one for me. I still encourage you to check it out though if you are into story-based games similar to the Telltale games of old. You'll be able to play with Max's rewind ability and Chloe's quick-witted attitude when it comes to PS4, Stadia, Switch, Xbox One, and PC on February 1st. Dark Sanadon is a retro action RPG Metroidvania that uses an 8-bit art style. Art direction and animation really remind me of Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. You explore a massive, interconnected world with tons of bosses and enemies and optional paths through the game. You can change your appearance and playstyle between fighter, archer, and magician. The art style really spoke to me the first time I saw it. I love Zelda games, but as a kid, my favorite was always Zelda 2. As I've gotten older, I've come to realize that maybe that game's not as special as 4 or 5-year-old me thought it was, but I'm still excited to see that kind of game made with more modern sensibilities. Not likely to be a day one for me, but wanted to get it on your radar because there's really not much out there for it. You'll be able to play Dark Sanadon on PC on February 2nd. Dying Light 2 Stay Human is a story-driven, first-person, open-world action RPG and is the much-anticipated follow-up to 2015's Dying Light. The game is set in the city, which is mankind's last stronghold against a zombie virus. The game features parkour mechanics and first-person combat. This entry also brings co-op to the table and features a rather extensive skill tree. Now, I don't think this is a day one for me, as I've never been a fan of any game with first-person melee combat, but I will definitely keep an eye on how the game is received overall. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are some big games coming this month, and this game should definitely be near the top for most people, I would think. I just hope you have 500 hours set aside if you want to see everything, according to devs. You'll be able to sink your teeth into Dying Light 2 Stay Human on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X/S on February 4th. From the creators of Absolver comes Sifu, a kung fu story of revenge and redemption. You play a kung fu student who has trained their entire life to get revenge on a mysterious assassination squad that murdered your entire family. You also have in hand a magical pendant that revives you after death. Should you be revived though, you will age significantly each time. When you age though, you get the chance to spend XP on strength, wisdom, or toughness. The consequence comes with a loss of maximum health. While your character may look older though, your abilities are unaffected by your age. This is yet another one of those probably not day one games for me. I recently played Absolver, and while I enjoyed it initially, I did fizzle out after a bit. Not sure why I shared that, because this is obviously a different game, but there's enough similarities in combat to make me think twice. The more important other reason is I'm just not that big of a fan of beat-em-ups. This is one of the rare times in gaming where a release date actually gets moved forward instead of backwards, Originally expected to release on February 22nd, you can instead play Sifu on PS4, PS5, and PC as an Epic exclusive on February 4th. Now, should you go the Epic route, don't forget to use creator code CW719 to help support my work. Crossfire is an extremely popular free-to-play shooter coming to the US for the first time as Crossfire X. Remedy, known for Control, Quantum Break, Alan Wake, and Max Payne, will be handling the brand new single-player portion of the game, which will have players exploring both sides of the conflict between two rival mercenary factions, Global Risk and Blacklist. While yes, there is a free-to-play multiplayer aspect to the game, I find myself much more interested in seeing how Remedy does with the single-player campaign. I was lukewarm on Quantum Break and not as high on Control as most people, but I did really like the ideas that Control brought to the table. Crossfire X is a different direction entirely and seems to be rooted in a bit more realism. Still, I wonder what Remedy can do with a straight-up military first-person shooter. Crossfire X will be landing on Xbox One and Series X/S on February 10th. The multiplayer will be free to play, but the single-player will be a premium add-on experience. Edge of Eternity's inspiration comes from JRPGs of old. You can tell even in the French studio's name, Midgar Studio. In Edge of Eternity, you follow Darion and Celine on their quest to find a cure to the all-consuming corrosion. In the game, you'll experience an enthralling story with plot twists and heart-wrenching moments, a gorgeous fantasy world to explore, a unique turn-based battle system, music created by Yasunori Mitsuda of Chrono Trigger and Xenoblade Chronicles fame, a well-made crafting system, and 50 hours of gameplay. I played this game back in early access well over a year ago now. I enjoyed my time with it, but parts felt like they needed more polish, as is standard in early access games. I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth in fully at some point, but I can't commit on whether or not it'll be day one. It's a really big day for games. Already fully released on PC, this game will be available on the 10th to PS4 and PS5 users and Xbox One and Series X users, with it even coming to Game Pass on day one. Last year, I played a game that I really enjoyed called Arafel. It was a throwback pixel art RPG made using RPG Maker software and surprised me with how good it ended up being. When the Rise of the Third Power trailer dropped, I was drawn in much the same way I was with Arafel. It looked like there were a lot of similarities. Little did I know until I started writing the script for this video that it is actually the next game from the studio that made Arafel, Stegosoft. This game is built to surpass their previous work in every way, with 8 playable characters, political intrigue, and a unique custom battle system. I'll always find most pixel art stunning, and coming off of Arafel, I feel like the visuals and expected improvements make this definitely one of my most anticipated games of February, and it will be a day one game on my channel. You can dive into Rise of the Third Power alongside me on Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X/S, and PC on February 10th. Because 3 big games in one day isn't enough, how about a 4th? Kingdom Hearts is coming to the Switch in cloud form. Now, this collection will include Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, which includes Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days HD Remastered Cinematics, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Recoded HD Remastered Cinematics, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which includes Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, Kingdom Hearts X Back Cover, Kingdom Hearts Point 2 Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind, which includes Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. You can dedicate the rest of your life to Kingdom Hearts on the Switch in cloud form on February 10th. Our second free-to-play entry of the week, both of which are brought to us by Smilegate, Lost Ark sets its sights on the MMORPG genre by incorporating action combat with a CRPG perspective a la Diablo and Path of Exile. The whole world is in chaos from the attack of Kazaros' demon army. Your job is to search the world in pursuit of the Lost Ark to defeat the demons as it did once before in the past. Fight hordes of enemies, colossal bosses, and other dark forces seeking the power of the Ark. Explore 7 vast and varied continents and the seas between to find vibrant cultures, fantastic beasts, and unexpected marvels. I've been super cautious about diving into any MMORPG as it seems so intimidating. That being said, I've been looking to commit to one, and while I thought for sure it would be Final Fantasy XIV, I might be more inclined to do Lost Ark first. I love what I've seen from the game world, the enemy designs, and the fluidity of combat. Decisions. The perfect gift for your sweetie this Valentine's Day. Give them a game showing pixelated gore on a level I haven't seen since Splatterhouse. You play as Elsador, whose homeland has been overrun by unholy magic while he was away. Earn experience and gold for power-ups as you paint the world red in this pixelated side-scroller. Choose your path carefully as you decide the fate of those around you. This game intrigues me for a multitude of reasons. The pixel art, granted it's more 8-bit than 16-bit, which I typically favor, does look amazing. The light RPG elements feel like the perfect bait to keep searching for secrets and upgrades, and it's a game that offers multiple endings. I'm a sucker for a game that doesn't take itself too seriously in how it presents its over-the-top executions and deaths. This actually might also help explain it. This game screams Devolver Digital despite having nothing to do with Devolver Digital. Maybe that helps. Get bloody on February 14th when Infernax drops for Switch, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. You know it's a big month when Horizon Forbidden West, in my opinion, isn't the biggest release, but we'll talk about all that in just a bit. This is obviously the much-anticipated follow-up to 2017's hit Horizon Zero Dawn. As Aloy, you push into new territories in this post-apocalyptic version of America. Discover new tribes, new enemies, and new characters. Uncover the secret behind Earth's imminent collapse and unlock a hidden chapter in the ancient past, one that will change Aloy forever. This one likely will not end up on my channel. There's no denying its popularity, but I didn't care much for the first game. You want to know the dumb reason why? Robots. Specifically, robot dinosaurs. I know it's dumb, I wish it weren't the case, but for whatever reason, robots are the most unsatisfying enemy for me in games. And with mechanics similar to Monster Hunter, another series I don't care for, I'm stuck accepting that I'll never be a fan of Horizon. In Monarch, you suddenly awaken in Shin Mikado Academy and there is a barrier separating the campus from the rest of the outside world. You must try to fight the irrationality around you using the authority of vanity, a demonic power that subsists off your ego and madness. Use your ego to strengthen your sense of self, fend off madness in turn-based free movement battle systems, and toe the line between demonic power and sound combat tactics to avoid going mad. Investigate the campus while avoiding the unsettled, those that have already fallen to the madness, and the mist, the catalyst for the madness. This game intrigues me as it is coming from former Shin Megami Tensei developers, and you can see it. Truth be told, I technically haven't played a Shin Megami Tensei game yet, but I have played Persona 4 and 5, and I had a great time with each. I could see myself enjoying this game as well, but I'm not sure we're talking day one here. You can play Monarch on February 22nd when it launches for the Switch, PS4, and PS5. The beat marches on for Destiny 2 when the Witch Queen enters the fray. The 10th expansion for the multiplayer space FPS brings to the table a new weapon, the Glaive, a new crafting system to create custom weaponry, a new area, Savathun's Throne, a new 6-player matchmaking mode, and a new raid. The longevity and fandom for this game are awe-inspiring. I only finished base story back in the day, but as each day passes, I become more and more interested in diving into Destiny 2. I know there's a few things changing with the release of the Witch Queen that will make it a different path than it has been up to this point, and I probably won't jump into the Witch Queen until I catch up, but I'm very excited for you Destiny folks. The Witch Queen arrives in Destiny 2 on February 22nd for Xbox One, PS4, PS5, PC, and Series X/S. With Martha is Dead, we have ourselves a first-person psychological thriller set in 1944 Italy. The game blurs the line between reality, superstition, and the tragedy of war. Loosely based on the real-world events and actual superstition and folklore from the area, the game opens in the depths of the Italian countryside as Allied and Axis try to gain an upper hand in the latter part of World War II. Touting photorealistic environments and the new meta-human approach to character design recently shown off during the Matrix Awakening's Unreal Engine demo, this should be a fantastic game to look at, while affording us a glimpse of this new tech as LKA is one of the first studios to show it off. For you guys that have been around a bit, you know this game is right up my alley. Spoopy games, regardless of the time of year, are always a fun time. This could end up being a day one depending on how things shake out. Martha is Dead will be landing on February 24th for PC, PS5, and Series X/S. I mentioned earlier how strong of a month it would have to be for Horizon Forbidden West to be the second biggest game release of the month, but here we are with Elden Ring, From Software's next game, this time featuring an open world. This game brings with it a vast world called The Lands Between, full of excitement crafted by Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. The world features fantastical landscapes and shadowy, complex dungeons that connect seamlessly. It also brings an ability to approach battle how you choose, showcasing various weapons, magic, and skills to let you decide your best approach. Now, hype is subjective, obviously, but for me, this is the one I'm most excited about in February. The only Soulsborne games I haven't beaten are Sekiro, which I should go back and do, and Dark Souls 3, which I actually never even started for some reason. I love these games, though. I cannot wait to dive into Elden Ring. It's coming out on February 25th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X/S. Grid Legends is the next installment in the long-running Grid series. This iteration will add Boost Racing, which allows you to fill a boost meter which then essentially functions as nitrous would in other games. Elimination Mode pits you against the pack to make sure you're not at the back when the timer ticks down. A story complete with live-action characters, and the most variety offered in a Grid experience. Now, I doubt I'll play this day one, as I didn't even dedicate much stream time to my favorite racing game ever, Forza Horizon 5. That being said, I hope Grid Legends is good. They've been competent racers for a long time, but have always fallen to the wayside compared to the Forzas and Gran Turismos of the world. I think Grid could be another A-tier racer, especially with the inclusion of more racing disciplines. With a release date simply stated as February 2022, we, at some point of the month, can expect the pixel remaster version of one of the greatest games ever made, Final Fantasy VI. Square Enix isn't doing me any favors, as the format of these videos typically has me talking over a trailer that, in this instance, hasn't been released yet, so instead, here are some pixel remaster screenshots to tide us over. It sounds like this entry will have a more dramatic graphical overhaul than the 5 pixel remaster games released prior. At the time of this recording, I'm working my way through Final Fantasy IV pixel remaster on stream. I'm not sure I'll get through 5 prior to 6's release. If I do, this will be a day one game on my channel, but we'll see how things shake out. Look for Final Fantasy VI pixel remaster at some point this month for PC and mobile. There you go, guys. That's February. That's 1 month of video games. That's amazing. There's so many things going on. There's so many games to play. I hope that I maybe introduced you to some new games, ones you did know about, but it's also not a great month to maybe try new games if you're waiting for the big ones. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please, leave a like. Leave a comment, let me know. Go ahead, hit subscribe, turn on the bell so you guys get to see the other videos that I post. Catch me live, check me out. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/CW719. I'm there Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can check out our podcast, Procedurally Generated, where we take a look at the random history of video games, 3 random games at a time. It's a lot of fun. And then follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Hover. Check that stuff out. I post content to all those platforms on a pretty regular basis. But yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys are ready for February. I'm not. I don't know how to do anything this month. It's going to be too crazy, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. And we'll get through it just in time to get into March, which is just as crazy. It's going to be bonkers. So have yourself a good month. We'll see you guys soon.